So an operator is facing lots of complex questions on where he takes his equipment in order to best holistically serve the market and capture them. He's having to buy it and get it onto his inventory before he's got it paid for, because he's amortizing it against subscriptions he's going to get. So he comes to you and says, I want loads of stuff that does loads of stuff, and I want it really, really cheap. I mean, what are they mostly demanding of you, and how viable is it?
That's the rub. Combined with, they don't know what loads of stuff they actually need until the very end. And so they have a wish list, and they build into their architecture a lot of flexibility, which costs money, which they don't exercise until they know they need to at the very end of the design cycle, which the set-top box design cycle now is under a year. In fact, in some cases, it's 8 months. And yet, a complex system controller or chipset could take close to 2 years to develop, and so they want it cheap.
So they're asking you for stuff that he hasn't invented yet.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
It's harder for us because we have to. I mean, the set-top box guys, you say, sort of looking 12 months out. We have to guess 2 years out almost what's going to be needed in the set-top box to enable them to make that. To then offer to the operator.
And the operators haven't yet determined exactly what they want in their different models in order to tier or segment their markets. And so for the challenge for the folks who are doing the more basic innovative building blocks like analog devices, our goal is to build in the performance and the capability at the right cost point to allow very fast cycle times. And that's as much about components as it is about design, support, and services.
So you've got to bring all that together, and you end up just forecasting basically what.
Basically, but I mean, it's key for us in the operator market is our relationship with the operator. I don't want to offend any of our set-top box customers, but you know, we have to talk to the operator to know what they're thinking 2-3 years out, whereas the set-top box guys are, you know, a little bit behind that curve.
And that's the problem, because if the set-top box allow that to continue, then their product becomes commoditized. It's just a modem. It's just a delivery system, and they've got to, I think, play a more active role in.
Well, there's an awful lot of software involved in this, of course, and I wouldn't say that 12 months is a very compressed schedule for a kind of software development for these kind of major launches.
I think there's and I agree to that point. There's a school of thought that from a hardware perspective, if you make with the CPU. Processor speeds relatively high today, almost a PC type. The focus should be more on the software architecture. Can that sustain and support services for the future? With extra memory, flash, RAM, you can actually introduce new services. You don't necessarily have to change the hardware. We're putting more focus on the software architecture, making it more efficient, making it more flexible to add and introduce new services. The set-top box is effectively a delivery mechanism. So that's a school of thought that we're looking at, certainly now, is to focus more on the software architecture. Right. Therefore, it isn't becoming commoditized.
And so the software, at least from our point of view, includes the security mechanisms, of course, and it's an important component of our philosophy going forward, is that the features and functions of the hardware in the box support not only today's security requirements, but also the future security requirements, without any additional hardware components.
I think the hardware, there's an opportunity to add user experience with well-designed hardware, and in particular the remote control. If the remote control can be an interactive device, in terms of power savings, you can look at the schedule that's been communicated to the remote control in a small screen. You don't have to power up your plasma TV, for example. And if there's an interesting user interface, like some folks have designed, that's fun to use and easy to use, you're bringing a better user experience and I think more stickiness to the relationship. It's perhaps being overlooked if it's just a modem.